Hello, this is Maggie, and I'm going to share an idea for teaching sanding hammers, and also kind of show how I sand hammers. I usually get them that are relatively bad, and I'm going to start outside of an action. So what we want to do, and I'm trying to look at this through my phone, this is going to be interesting. What we want to do is take off just a thin layer, and what I found is that a lot of people have a hard time taking off just a single layer. They end up filing too much, and it gets odd shapes and stuff. And you also want to keep it very square with itself all the way around. It needs to not angle funky. So when you do this, you start, and you can already see some of it fluffing up here. And this is a pretty heavy grit. You can do a fine grit after you get thick grooves out to finish it off. But I'm going to start until I see a very distinct line. And this one's not doing it as well as some, but you'll see, here we go. You'll see a line. There it is, right there. I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera. Focus. There we are. See the little line right there? It's a little bit of a dip. But you want to take that and work it up. And just because you're working the line up doesn't mean you're not filing too much here. So you want to take as little off as possible and still have that line come up. And you're going to keep it all the way to the top. And when you get to the top, you can use the grooves to keep you square. So you see how the grooves are starting to come through? If you take off one groove too much, you know you're not square. And this is a loose hammer, so I can flip it around. But if I'm holding it this way, I'm going to do this way. I'm going to try not to hit my phone. This is going to be really hard to do in front of a phone. Oh my gosh. So, got a line right there. Whoops, there. You probably can't see it, but there is a line. And I'm working that line toward the tip where I'm seeing just one layer of felt come off. Now I've got my 3 grooves. I can see them. I'm not going to take all those grooves off until the last second because I'm going to use them to help keep me level. So I've got a little more coming off of this side than this one, but I need to take more off anyway. So I'll show you all how this works in an action when you can't hold the hammer. Right now it's easier if I just flip it over. And you can see how the felt's coming up off of getting pointed there. I'm going to go all the way. There we are. So that's kind of a layer, and I still have some grooves, so I'm going to do another layer. You want to take off as little as possible while still a constant. And so when you see the straight line going across, let's see if I can get it to focus. That's just a hint of a line right there. When it's straight, you know you're square. Keep the line straight across. If it starts to go too fast on one side, file a little more on the other side, and then use the lines to keep you square, like so. I'm going to do that on this side. And then I'm going to show you a trick for practicing this. Now see, I took too much off on this side. My line is crooked. So I'm going to take more off on the left now until it's square, and then I'm working it up, and I'm keeping it square as I go. That's how you know if you're not square. You watch that line. And then see, I'm leaving just a little bit of the groove so I know I'm still square. There we are. And I'm really close now. So now if I want, I can use a fine sander, and I'm going to show you some sandpaper you can use. This is still really rough, but that's significantly better. And there's just a hint of the grooves right now. It's looking pretty good. So my idea is to use a magic marker. You know, for someone who's practicing this, you got to get a bunch of old hammers. And we're just going to lightly coat this, like so. I probably used a little too much because I don't want it to soak in. I just want a light coating. That was probably too much. So, yeah, there we are, like that. So just a light coating. And here, there we are. And let's see if this works. I'm trying to look not through my phone, so I probably got it off screen. So I've coated this with magic marker. And now I'm going to try to take just the magic marker off. Now you can really see the line. Okay, there we are. Look how easy that is to see. I'm keeping it straight as I move to the tip, getting to my hammer line. Where's the hammer line? There it is. It's peeking through. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the other side. Now I'm going to try to get this one uneven on purpose, which I hate doing that. So there, I'm getting it on even on purpose. So see, I sanded too much on this side, and I'm going to get it not square, so I've got to sand more on that side. See? Now I'm going to straighten it up, and there I am. Nice and straight, right there. Right there. And you watch it as you go. You watch it. If it starts to get unstraight, you straighten it. And you go till you start to see the hammer grooves. And you just be careful not to take all the hammer grooves off. Now I still have some hammer grooves here. I'm going to take off another layer. There's a little bit of marker left. So we'll be able to see my next, there it is. Look at that line. So I get to focus here. There's that line. That's what we want. So this is an idea people can play around with to practice with a magic marker. And I still have some marker on this side. So I'm going to go till I see a line. Come on. There it's forming. There. See the line? And you just keep it square as you go up. Whoops. See? See, I didn't get square, so now I got to go back over. I just kind of do it automatically now. There we are. See the line? Keep it square. Go until you see the hammer grooves. There we are. Look at that. Lovely. And then now we can take off that last little bit. Keep it square. Use the hammer grooves so you know if you're square. I got a little off there. And I could tell because of the hammer grooves. Now look at that. See? So now I can finish it. So I'm going to show you how I would do this in a piano action. So here's a junked piece of action, and I've put a mismatched hammer in here that it definitely is heavily grooved. I wish you could see how deep these grooves are, and I've pre-markered it so it's easier for you to see, and you can do this when you're practicing. I'm gonna step out of the line of my camera, so hopefully you'll be able to see this. So I'm gonna start here, but I'm gonna hold it here firmly, and you know you can get a prop for your hammers. If you need, whoops, these are all broken. There we are. I'm going to hold this very firmly because you really don't want to torque this all that much. You torque it some. So you probably can just see my sander. But this is the angle I hold it. So I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to sand until I get, whoops, I'm shaking my hammer. A very distinct line. Let me look at my camera. Yeah, so there's my line. I'm a little crooked. So I'm going to come back down here and hold it. And sand it. See? There's my line. Keeping it square. I'm going to go all the way until I see my hammer grooves. I can see the grooves. So now I'm going to come back this way. And I can't even see this. Kind of go on feel here. Hold on a second. Okay, so what I did is I moved my hammer prop here so I can lean this against it nice and firm and hammer it. This one I've pushed my other hammers out of the way. So that's actually probably what you should do instead of holding it. So I definitely have a line. I know you can't see it, but I have one. And I'm going to come up. The whole table is shaking. I'm going to go till I see the lines. See the lines? And then come back. And we're just going to even it up here. So I'm not going to take as much off of this one. So you're still going to see grooves. So I would basically just repeat that process like you just saw me do until the grooves are gone. And the one more thing I wanted to show you is there's this stuff called Mirka. It's a sand mesh like this, and you can buy it in sheets and all kinds of different things. Mirka Abernet. I don't know how to say it, but you can cut it into strips. And with these, if you don't have anything like with really deep grooves and you just want to touch it up, whoa, make sure it's in there. You know, I'm not going to file a whole hammer like this, but you can take out, I can put this one up, let another one come down. If you just have slight grooves, you can take them out. Just make sure you keep it even. I'm not doing a great job of that right now, but that's what you want to do. So that's, if you just want it just very light, you can use sandpaper. If they're really deep, I recommend a sanding file. There's other methods to do this, so look them up. I'm sure they're around, but this is how I do it. And if anyone is teaching this or learning this, you can try my Sharpie trick with whatever method you want to use. So hope that's helpful. Happy tuning. Bye-bye. I almost forgot to mention, in a vertical piano, you can also use the tape and pull her around like so. Go in, grab it underneath, pull, and then if you need some heavier sanding, pull the action. If you don't want to pull the action, you can get bendable files, and it's a little harder, but you can do it. Just don't be too aggressive to damage the hammer. You don't want to damage the hammer flange. Hold it firmly in front of the other hammers. Come up, and I like my paddle for the top. Coming down, you're going to grab other hammers in the way. It's really better to pull it, but you can do it that way. So, just some thoughts. Okay, bye.